Hey guys, welcome back to the Alliance Tournament. I'm CCP Rise, and I'm with Sir Squeebles, and we're about to watch Fearless Empire against Nora Mercenary Group to get us started after the break today. How's it going, Mr. Squeebles?
It's going well. It's going well.
Fantastic. Sorry for the short delay, guys. We broke a bunch of computers and had to restart them all, but everything's good now. What do we have on the field here? I see a succubus there on the screen. Tell us about the setups a little bit, Squeebles.
Yeah, so on one team, you're seeing a more traditional shield setup. That's on the side of Noir. They're fielding Sleipnir, Gila, which is something that we've seen before. Some interesting Frigg support with the succubus. There's a Harpy, also a Vexer for some added DPS, and then Worms as well.
Yeah, and Fearless have something crazy. They've got the first Chronos of the tournament, I believe, and then alongside that, like a small armor tinker with, I believe, their flagship Geddon, a Proteus, Damnation, Prophecy, Vexor Navy issue. And worth mentioning, Noir doesn't have any logistics at all, so this is a very high damage, high kind of in-your-face sort of setup, and we're underway now. You see Noir started at 0 on the beacon, and they're burning straight away down towards that Fearless tinker. Have to see how their damage does against... probably against that Armageddon or maybe the Logi Proteus to get things started.
Yeah, you do already see the Vexer of Zoreli taking damage. He's at about 2/3 shields. It's not as much as they'd like to see early, and it looks like Maxwell and the Proteus is going to be the primary.
Yep, going to try and break that logistics first, as Fozzie was saying before. Often that's the weakest link in these Tinker chains. Looks like actually, though, they may go for the Vexor Navy issue. They had a web on that for a second, but the Proteus taking pretty heavy damage to start, although on the other side, Noir already lost the Vexor. They have no logistics, so they'll be bleeding ships this whole time. They need to make use of the DPS while they have it.
And interestingly, unless I'm mistaken, that Proteus was boosting shields just a minute ago, like small amounts of shields, so I don't know, but it didn't really save him because he's dead.
You're right. I saw the boost effect there on the stream just before he went down. He is down now. A Sleipnir getting traded back pretty quickly here. Getting right next to that Chronos definitely puts them up against a lot of DPS, even though there's not a lot of ships on this Fearless side. So 2 ships down now for Noir. Without Logi, though, Fearless Empire are probably going to be losing ships pretty quickly. This Vexor Navy issue especially with a pretty light tank.
And that's a pretty significant portion of their DPS. This Chronos can only do so much, although they are chunking into this Sleipnir. But if it gets down to this Chronos, the Prophecy, the Damnation, it looks pretty dark, and that's the case now, especially with that Geddon applying new pressure to the Chronos.
You know, I think this could be really interesting as this goes late. As a second Sleipnir already goes down for Noir, not only do they not have Logi, but it looks like the tanks are pretty light because he went down really fast. See what they go after next. Maybe the Vexor piloted by Sovereign. But in the meantime, Fearless actually doing kind of okay. They only have a couple ships, but that Chronos is going to be a really big problem. If Noir loses very much more of their DPS, it's possible that they just simply won't be able to break the Chronos, and he can kill these ships one by one, no problem, as they lose another Vexor.
Yeah, interestingly, I had the Armageddon grouped with the wrong team. I was wondering how Armageddon synergized with the Gila, so no worries about that cap pressure on the Chronos. I'm sure he's less nervous now.
Wow.
But only 2 Gilas, yeah, that's probably not going to be enough to eat through this substantial tank.
I mean, the Geddon's going down for Fearless now. He's getting into low armor, but the Noir tanks just seem really light. Their ships are going down really quick. I wonder what the tank looks like on those Helas and Sleipnirs. It seemed like they never even boosted as another Hela goes down. Only a few ships left for Noir. It looks like Fearless is going to take this with the Chronos and this kind of strange, like, few pilot tinker here with their Geddon. If this is a flagship Geddon, which I actually don't have confirmed, I need to find that out, but if that's the case, this could be a really hurtful loss for them even if they make it through the match.
Well, at this point, just on points, it's pretty secure. That Chronos is not going anywhere. This last Gila is going down. One of the, I believe it's the Harpy. Yes, the Harpy is right in the middle of the remaining part of this tanker, and he's going to sink as well. This Worm might kite, just sort of flaunting, but yeah, there's not much hope for him to break a Chronos.
Wow, ship's going down. Yeah,
this is... They needed to go for the mobile micro jump drive strat there and hope that the Chronos and the remainder of the team MJD'd out. They did not, though, and as that last Worm sinks, that's an interesting match.
Yeah, really strange. It seems like if Noir would have had some Logi, maybe instead of those Vexors or something, they could have kept this match maybe turning their way as things went a little later, but instead Fearless is the one who comes out up on top. having no problem cutting through this Noir team with that Chronos. Pretty cool to see that in play. I have to feel like Fearless is a little lucky that they brought a Chronos and then had somebody fly straight in on top of them.
Yeah, that was an interesting decision. You see that it's kind of 50-50, honestly, with a lot of the Gila comps. Some people think that that shield resist bonus entitles them to just get right in the middle of the fight. Other teams play them a little more defensively. Against a comp like this, you definitely hope that you've practiced the more kiting setup, because getting on top of a Chronos is not a good life decision.
Yeah, one thing that makes I'm sure added some urgency to the strategy for Noir is that Chronos did have a bunch of smart bombs. So those Gila drones, even though they have a lot of HP, would eventually get chewed up by the smart bombs, making their damage even lower. They may have just felt they needed to get in and apply as much damage really as absolutely possible. But yeah, I mean, really, really strange to fly up next to a Chronos, which just really is happy to have everything as near to it as possible, and especially because it's alongside a Tinker that really can't move across the field at all either.
Right.
And now we're seeing this last remaining Succubus kind of fly around here, and maybe proving how how hard it would have been for Fearless to deal damage to anything that was far away. They actually can't really do anything at all to the Succubus. They just have these big, slow brick ships left. And yeah, Chronos still actually in Bastion. See if he drops Bastion and tries to MGD around to catch the Succubus, but that.
Oh, I hope he does. I think that would end in a dead Chronos based on what we've seen so far. Yeah, this Succubus pilot though that's quite a nice move by him, making sure that they have plenty of time to loot the wrecks of his friends. I don't know what to say about that comp though. The Gila comp, I mean, it's not the first time we've seen Gilas. It's not the last time we're going to see Gilas.